Design thinking versus collective intelligence. Which one's better? Which ones should you use when you're problem solving? So first of all, let's break down the terms. Design thinking is a structured, step-by-step process to take users through a particular problem. What is collective intelligence? Well, that, on the other hand, is all about the power of collective knowledge, the power of the crowd. You try to create innovation from unexpected places. So these are both problem-solving examples, but they work quite differently. Let's compare their use cases. Design thinking, that really shines when you're developing a product or a solution. And this really works well if you're developing something like an app, for instance, or something app adjacent. The purpose of design thinking is empathy-driven problem solving. Understand and walking in the person's shoes you're trying to help, solving their problems from their perspective, something that will make them happy. While collective intelligence really thrives on this concept of brainstorming, crowdsourcing, and ideation, the moonshot kind of ideas. You're not walking in someone else's shoes, you're trying to invent the idea of shoes. And because of these two different angles, you're going to also have a different process. Design thinking wants to take you through a very specific structured process of that persona and the processes and feelings and need and wants of that person. So this concept of going from person that you're trying to help to prototype to test is a very structured path you're taking. Collective intelligence. When you're trying to really innovate and do something out of the box, they need to really brainstorm because the problems are big or the moonshot, the goal is really big. And in those cases, you're about getting as much information from as many sources as you can. In fact, this is the paradigm of crowdsourcing all the different pieces you need. What about the culture you're in? What about the geographies you're in? How about the data that you know? What do you not know? What are your black swans? Where can you get the most diverse group of people together to be the most creative and create the biggest idea? This is how great ideas can be born. So collective intelligence leans into this concept of what makes people creative. You don't want to be blocked by a process per se. You want to lean into open discussion, collaboration, and idea generation. And if you want to know more about idea generation, I've got a link to a video all about simple tools that can help you create ideas. And because these two concepts are very different in their method, you can imagine that the tools are also different too. Design thinking loves tools like Figma and Canva for prototyping, for imagining what's possible. Even white paper on a flip chart can be very useful to this process. Now, I will also say that Miro does work well for some design thinking. I really love their user journey process, so you can also use Miro for that as well. Collective intelligence prefers tools like Miro, Slack, and Idea Scale because what you're trying to do is throw all the ideas out there and see what lands best. Mash things together. Figure out if two divergent concepts can actually come together and make the world's greatest idea. Both of these approaches work. Both of them are effective. The question is, which one's right for you? If you're looking for a user-centric design approach, use design thinking. It's simple, it's a proven process, and it's easy to use with new tools available today. But if you want to tap into the wisdom of the crowd, or you're trying to figure out what is the art of the possible, then you're going to want to lean into collective intelligence. If you're looking for the unknown unknowns, you need all the information, all the diversity, and all the insights you can get. And do these things ever work together? Yes, they do. I worked for a client when I was a partner at IBM, and there we did something called jams, which were essentially large-scale brainstorming sessions. However, they were focused on a structured process of topics. So these topics were problems to solve, moonshots, if you will. And there was a lot of brainstorming going on. But as we engineered the facilitation of this process, we actually went down to, okay, whose problem is it? How is it being solved? What prototype could we fast track to test if this idea is practical? So yes, you can weave these things together. I hope you found this information helpful. And if you want to know more about design thinking or how to run a workshop, check out these videos. And I'll see you next time on ProjectSkillsMentor.com. Bye-bye, everybody.